Hello and welcome back to Talking Comics. Now I just want to give a warning here because this video is different from my other stuff. Normally with my channel I try not spoil comic stuff, especially big stuff in the plot, so you yourself can experience that. In this video, I'm going to be going into the story a lot more, so I'm going to be spoiling basically the first issue of this comic. Now, if you're okay with that, and if you've read the story already, then continue watching. But if you haven't, and you don't want to be spoiled, then don't continue watching the video. This comic focuses on Vision and the Scarlet Witch. Now technically this takes place after a Scarlet Witch comic series, but right now I don't know how much that will tie into the story. So if you haven't read that, then I think it should be okay for you to read this without too much knowledge on that, but I could be wrong mattering what happens in future issues. Here's where we get into spoiler territory. This comic focuses on Vision and Scarlet Witch as they deal with Grim Reaper coming back to life. The Grim Reaper being the super villain, the Grim Reaper, not the actual Grim Reaper aka Death. But I was not expecting this, just because his character isn't exactly popular and nobody was really asking for him to come back from the dead, at least not from my knowledge. So seeing him just suddenly, oh he's back, was very fun. He also has magic powers seemingly relating to something I believe they call a death door or something like that, similar to Scarlet Witch's door to her shop, what she'd use to help people. But obviously quite the opposite, as it leads them to the Grim Reaper. With his magic, he also he can use necromancy, or at least control an undead version of his body, as he basically almost kills Vision, and I really want to talk about that. So yeah, Vision almost dies in this, but he is saved as Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda, uses magic to seemingly repair his body. Now, this leads into him having a new look, kinda. It's very reminiscent of his white looking form, but I have a feeling it's going to be different this time. A theory I have is somehow Vision may now have certain magic capabilities to him. Just because he was brought back using magic, so it would make sense he would have some magic in him because of that. Another thing is he's possibly a ghost, but I also don't think they'll do that. The only reason I think that's a possibility is this little mini series of Vision and Scarlet Witch is clearly dealing with death, with Grim Reaper being the main villain, and they gave Vision a fully white-like ghost appearance, but I also don't think they'd be willing to make him a ghost or explain how that would work with him being a robot. It is also very possible it's for movie synergy, what I personally would very much hope it's not, just because I really don't like the idea of the comics needing to change stuff for the films, at least to promote them. Sometimes the changes can be good and sometimes they can't be. Such as Magneto's helmet originally not being able to block telepathy, but because of the movies they changed it in the comics. What was a good decision, but doesn't mean everything has to be like the films, especially since Scarlet Witch in the movies is like not a good adaptation in my opinion, with the fact they erased her being Romani and just got a white actress to do a European accent. But overall I hope it's not that. The comic also teases the idea of Wanda getting with Vision again. What I do think's possible they'll do, but I also think they might not. It will just be hinted at, but only time will tell. Anyway, moving on from story stuff, the art is good, like it's very well done. This artist has been doing Scarlet Witch stuff for a while now, and their work has always looked good. We're again glad to see that the comics are sticking with the fact they're going to try and colour Wanda with darker skin and more Roma features to represent that she is Romani, because in older comics that wasn't happening, but that's also an entire other conversation I'm not going to get into. But I'm glad they're doing that, though I do know some other characters like Quicksilver doesn't get that treatment as much, with him appearing in other stories and his skin just being like white, when he should at least look a little bit more tan, considering he is drawn like that a lot more now. Another thing was Iron Man also made Scarlet Witch more white for some reason, but at least in like One World Under Doom she is drawn with a darker skin feature. What I think is good. Also, overall the colours in this is really nice. The Scarlet Witch comics always have a very good choice on like reds and everything. It very much pops with the kind of art. Same with Vision's design and all that. Overall, I'm just very excited to see what they do, especially since Vision and Wanda have like a long history, and Grim Reaper and Vision have like a really long history, considering the Grim Reaper is the brother of Wonder Man, and Wonder Man's brainwaves were used in the making of Vision, so Grim Reaper also sees Vision as a sort of brother, but not to him. Either way, I'm really interested to see where they go with all the magic stuff and just what could lead to into the future of Wanda's comics and even Vision stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, you can like it, or you can even dislike it if you want. I have more comic book related videos on my channel if you want to see those, or subscribe even. But yeah, that's all, and goodbye.